What is the best piece of advice you give like your 18-year-old self?
I did put in the hours, It's about putting in the hours. It's about making the network. I got to meet people. I got to learn about people. I got to learn about business. At 18 years old, you should be an absolute sponge. Don't think you know everything. Don't think you know anything. As a matter of fact, you're a dumb 18 years old. And you only realize that at 20. And then when you turn 25, you realize how stupid you were at 20.
Yeah,
and then when you turn 30, you realize how dumb you were at 25.
Okay,
and it's just an evolving situation. I've seen a lot of people go the wrong way by surrounding themselves with the wrong people. And try and learn as much as you can. Absorb, because it's out there. The knowledge is out there. And then be smart enough to listen to everybody else and formulate your own opinion.
Do you invest, and what do you invest in?
I don't invest in anything that I don't own 100%.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes, I was lucky to get Uber, at a private placement. I had a friend, I'm not going to mention the company, but he started a public company. He was one of the first 7 people in a public internet company.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he cashed out big money, millions of dollars. And he said to me, I would never invest in a public company in my life. I said, why not? He goes, they spend your money like a bunch of sailors. In the real estate business, it's a cash-intensive business. You have to be ready to have what we call dry powder and be able to buy real estate, especially good deals, fast. So that's why you don't want to be invested in stocks, et cetera, because
you have some cash on the side.
When opportunity knocks, you got to answer the door.
College, for the average person watching, do you think now it's a good investment? Or does it depend? I'd love to hear your thoughts on just in general, because obviously it's kind of a crisis for a lot of people right now. I went to college myself, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I went to college. I went to the University of Miami. I grew up in New York and New Jersey, and I graduated at 18 years old, went to the University of Miami, studied. I had a double major in international finance and marketing.
Oh, cool.
You learn stuff in college. You definitely learn stuff in college. Even that I didn't even open a book. You just go into class, you'll learn things. It really is supposed to be where you meet people who are going to help you pace you through the rest of your life, That's what college is about. It's about the network you create. And that's why there used to be a value to going to Harvard or Princeton or Yale or Penn, because you network with people who then become leaders of industry, and you start to know people around the world. What you should do in college, have fun.
Yeah.
Party your ass off, because it's 4 years, and then after that, and you got to finish in 4 years, don't become a fifth year student.
Yeah.
Party your ass off, get by, do your grades, get whatever, and then the minute it's over, get serious. I'm a real estate developer. I build luxury, high-rise oceanfront condominiums, as well as rental apartments, as well as hotels, warehouse spaces, and all kinds of things.
When did you get into commercial real estate? What is the process like? Like, how do you find value in a property? Like, can you give me just like the crash course on commercial?
Well, my father was in the business. My father was in the business in New York, and he was a landlord of office space in Manhattan. He was buying a building in New York, converting it, cleaning it up, meaning putting a new elevator motor or maybe new air conditionings and that kind of stuff. And then he would sell floor by floor by floor by floor. And that's how he started. When I came to Florida, I was here from school from 1993 to 97. Never built anything before. I started my first building when I was 27 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Just like, wow.
I find myself building this monstrosity of a building.
How big was it?
It was 400,000 square feet, 32 stories.
That's your first one?
Yeah, and it was a hotel,
Jeez.
They say the only thing harder to build than a hotel is a hospital.
Oh my God.
Because you got to finish out the rooms and down to the telephone hookups, down to the TV hookups. Versus apartments, you don't have to worry about all that extra stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily the easiest job in the world, but I mean, I cut my teeth on building a hotel. After that, building condos was, you do that in your sleep.
Oh, wow.
And so we decided to make our lives increasingly difficult by building the Porsche Design Tower with the car elevator and with swimming pools on the balcony. Another first for Miami. It's been on every single balcony.
How do you get all that water weight?
That's you sat there with the engineers. We got columns that are 3 foot by 3 foot running up the building, holding up that weight. We figured out let's try and increase the construction spec, meaning let's do stuff that's a little bit more interesting and more difficult to build, but better quality.
For those that haven't seen, we filmed a video a month ago, and we were brought up in the Deserator. I'd love for you to explain what that is, because essentially it's taking your car up to your house, and it's crazy.
We invented an elevator system that you place the car on the elevator, it takes you up to your apartment, and places you in a parking space right next to your apartment.
Crazy.
And,
yeah, and the name.
The name after me, my name is Gil Dezer.
I mean, we took that out. We took the 918 Spider up to the top, And I remember we were up on like the 38th floor or something like that. And you said it goes up to 60 floors, right?
That's right. There's 56. The Bentley Tower is going to be 62.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Honestly, just insane. So like, what was the process of building that like?
The elevator was a project within a project because it's never been done before. And so we had to go and really invent the wheel, if you will. I mean, not so much invent the wheel. It's an elevator. Goes up, goes down, right?
Yeah,
That's simple. Having the passenger in the car and getting the local governing authorities to buy off on it, that was the hard part.
I feel like Florida is probably an easier place to do stuff like that than like if you're trying to run this in like California.
It's the attitude of the people of the state and the people who work in the state and the people who work in the cities and the governing bodies that really wanted to see this happen, you know?
Gotcha.
They were telling us, hey, you can't do it this way, but you can do it this way.
So they're being
versus other states like California that they'll tell you can't do it that way, and you walk outside and there's a protest going on outside.
Yeah. You've seen how long they've taken to build anything in California, like the rail system.
Right.
So
Miami and Florida specifically is very pro-development. It's one of our big economic drivers here in the state, the construction industry. So it works for everybody. And then of course Miami is a world-class city. And
totally.
I was saying that 10 years ago. If you don't live in Miami, you have to get your head checked.
We
We live in paradise over here.
Have you found it harder? Like, is commercial real estate a better business now than it was like 20 years ago?
No, I think 20 years ago was a better business. I think long ago was a better business. Today, everybody knows everything, and so because of that, margins are squeezed. And so now you're building for a real commercialized margin, where before you had opportunities to make extra money because the knowledge wasn't so readily available to everybody.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It sounds like the whole getting into the industry, 30, 40 years ago would have been a better move, but like, do you have any like specific advice for people that are trying to get into that field right now?
I don't want to kill anybody's dreams, but if you're in your early 20s thinking you're going to get one of these things done, it ain't going to happen.
Okay.
You got to really understand what it is. And the only way to do that is by working for one of the bigger companies, one of the companies that get a lot of things done. So you just understand the process. Once you understand the process, if you want to go out on your own, the barrier to entry is not that great.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Versus if you learn it on your own, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, which are very costly.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure at this scale it would be costly.
It's like somebody said to me, hey, I want to learn how to play poker. I said, that's a very expensive lesson.